Versatile Mage. Chapter 564. Display of Prowess. Not many zombies had invaded the village, yet just a few of them were enough to bring slaughter upon the village. Chief Xe Sang was unable to save so many people at once. However, the wild tornado immediately swept the 4 zombies into the air and turned them into minced meat. The villagers who were saved by the tornado stared at Zhang Xiaohou in disbelief. Su Xiaoluo was also looking at Zhang Xiaohou in astonishment as he controlled the wind. She did speculate that Zhang Xiaohou was a hunter who had come out on an adventure, yet she never thought he would be an intermediate magician. Chief Xe Sang was actually having some trouble killing the zombies. He was unable to kill them in a short period of time, yet Zhang Xiaohu's wind disc simply slaughtered the 4 zombies in an instant. Wind disc, sky snare. Zhang Xiaohou drew another star pattern, summoning a stronger tornado. The fierce winds formed a thick wind wall, with the villagers inside it. Zhang Xiaohou controlled the wind wall, not letting the wind contract any further. The villagers standing inside the wall were protected by the tornado. The zombies were instantly torn into pieces when they lunged at the wind wall created by his sky snare. The zombies were stupid. They only knew to pounce at any living target. The wind disc, sky snare was protecting a dozen villagers, yet the hungrier the zombies were, the stronger the urge drove them to slam into the wind wall and kill themselves. Almost 10 zombies were fully annihilated by the wind disc, sky snare, returning the place to calm. The 2 wind spells faded from the sky after killing more than a dozen zombies that had invaded the village. The villagers almost had the urge to drop to their knees and express the gratitude to the god of wind. When Chief Xe Sang killed the last zombie, he glanced at the skinny young man whom he had called a retard in disbelief. Xe Sang knew he had no chance of facing all the undead by himself. The moment the zombies invaded the village, he knew the whole village was going to be massacred. To his surprise, the creatures that were going to destroy the village were wiped out by the kid. Xe Sang knew the kid was most likely a magician, yet he had never heard of anyone at his age with such outstanding strength. "What the hell are you crying for? Is it time for that now? Hide in the well quick," yelled Chief Xe Sang at the villagers who had no way of protecting themselves. The invasion did not last long, yet a dozen villagers were dead, with many more injured. The heavens knew if there were more undead waiting outside. As the chief, he had to make the decision. There was a cave in the wall, a place to take refuge whenever an emergency took place. The cave was tightly sealed, hidden between layers of rocks, where the undead were unable to reach. They just needed to bring food, water, and things to keep them warm in the cave. With no time to mourn for the dead, the villagers quickly packed their stuff and fled to the cave in the well. It was not completely dark yet, but the village was deserted. Only a stream of blood in the middle of the village was left. They did not have the time to deal with the corpses. The dead bodies of those who had died horrible deaths were soaked in water. Most strangely, apart from the zombies that had invaded the village, there were no zombies making their way toward the village. The truth was, there were still lots of undead crawling out from the ground, yet none of them seemed interested in the village. Even when they caught the scent of blood coming from beyond the wooden barrier, they still roamed around aimlessly. The rain lightened up, the raindrops like needles. Outside the village, a gray woven raincoat became visible in the curtains of rain. A huge bamboo straw hat covered the person's face. One could barely see his slightly pointy jaw. The man walked toward the entrance of the village and glanced at the pools of blood ahead. "There's another magician," said the man in an icy voice. Beside the man stood a few bulky zombies uttering some unpleasant cries. They were only a few meters away, yet they were not attacking him, standing a few steps behind him like subordinates. "The corpses are your prizes," said the man emotionlessly. Following the words, the zombies lunged at the dead bodies scattered across the village like hounds. "Do they seriously think they're going to be safe in the cave inside the well? Ha ha." The man turned around and disappeared into the rain. His sinister laughter merged with the rain and echoed in the sky above the village. The rain lasted for 3 days straight. Luckily, Mo Fan was an optimistic man. He simply used a branch to draw squares on the ground and played 5 in a row with Lu Ru to get rid of the boredom. The rain is stopping, we can continue on with our journey. Ali came in from the entrance and said to the group. What? Are you still thinking of going to Hua village? Shorty looked at everyone. We have to, said Mo Fan. Menge nodded too. Listen up. I know you two are strong, but I heard that there's a dark abyss close to Hua village. If we carelessly step into it, even 100 lives won't be enough to save you, said Shorty. Either you give us the money back, or lead the way, said Mo Fan straight away. No refund, said Shorty. Then get on with it. I have to pay a visit to Hua village too. It's been many years since I last returned to Sunny Goat village. Even though I don't understand why my uncle stopped me from going back every time, I feel like I have to find out the truth now that the village has disappeared, the muscular man declared sternly. The muscular man was called Fang Yumiao. When the shameless Mo Fan learned his name, he almost laughed for an hour. Fang Yumiao was from Sunny Goat village. He was not fond of the village's traditional lifestyle, hence he spent some years in the city. However, when he paid a visit back to the village a few years ago, his uncle told him not to go back anymore. Initially, Fang Yumiao thought the villagers were chasing him away, assuming that he had betrayed the traditional belief, thus he ended up staying in the ancient capital. However, he did not expect that the entire village would simply vanish into thin air. He still treated the villagers as his family, so he felt the urge to seek the truth, and the only way was to visit Hua village. Only Shorty had the urge to go back, hence he was basically forced to follow the group. The journey to Hua village was surprisingly calm. They did stumble into packs of zombies, yet they easily maneuvered past them with the ash garlic. However, when they arrived at Hua village, the group was completely dumbfounded when they saw that the village was deserted too. Why were the people of Hua village missing too? Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.